Welcome, Sins and Commandments alike. This is Griever, your host as always, and this is the latest episode, episode 6 of Nanatsu no Taizai's newest season. Now, this episode was a far bit better than the last one. There wasn't really very much changes, just a couple of different information between the manga and the actual anime. It was more embellished in the manga, but of course this is anime, so they're going to cut some stuff that's not necessarily relevant out. My discussion at the end of the last review about the strength of Hendrickson in demon form versus this current Ash or Grey demon was stated in the manga by Gilthunder, saying that yes, this thing will be far weaker than Hendrickson merged with it. But it's not stated here, so that was kind of more clarification for the anime-only watchers at the end of the last review. But that was stated in the manga. The only real change that I didn't like here about the opening sequence is, of course, they go through and Griever wants to take on Hendrickson, doesn't want to work with him, blah, blah, blah. The only thing is it was much more powerful and impactful that just that opening scene, Griever was made more like bellowing and yelling and like ready to take down Hendrickson rather than fight the Ash Demon. Like, screw the Ash Demon, I'm going to fight Hendrickson right now, screw it. That doesn't come across so much in the anime episode. It's just stated, you killed my father, why did you do that? Whereas in the manga it was way more like bellowing. It was more impactful, like, I'm gonna kill you, that kind of like just that anger boiling up completely. So I kind of thought that the scene was lackluster in that regards. However, the fight scene did go pretty much the same way. It was really cool. And Hauser's moment when it's Hendrickson versus, of course, Griever does not protect after the Ash Demon attacks. Griever protects with his ability Long Shield, protects Gilthunder and Hauser and himself, but he does not protect Hendrickson. Hendrickson gets wounded. He goes to fight the Grey Demon, and that's when he gets knocked back and he's about to be grabbed. But that's when Hauser stops the Grey Demon's attack, his hand with his blade, and blasts it into a million, pieces, disintegrates it. That was the music tones and the shots were done better than in the manga. In the manga, there were slight, like, smaller little panels, whereas this became a more impactful scene, and I really like that because it's showcasing Hauser and everyone standing up for that stuff. The demon's taken care of very quickly after Hendrickson reveals that he has the same ability that Great Holy Knight Zarathustra had, which was Purge, an ability from the Druids who worship the Goddess Clan. He purges the unholiness of the spirit of the Grey Demon, and the Grey Demon goes down. Now, this is where you think Griever is going to go after him, but no, it's Gilthunder, because Hendrickson decides to bring up Zarathustra. Dreyfus and I both respected him. He was an amazing man and all this stuff, full of valor and honor, and just basically praising him up one side, down the other. And that's when Gilthunder's like, okay, what the hell's going on? You killed my father, what the hell for, if you thought he was so great? And that's when we get the flashback part of this arc. Well, not really a flashback arc, just more of most of the episode is surrounded by this flashback thing, and it's basically the reveal of why Dreyfus and Hendrickson turned evil in the first place. They went to the kingdom of Danafor. So Dreyfus and Hendrickson are going to this place, and they go down the hole and stuff, and we see past version where Dreyfus looks kind of stupid with his Friar Tuck kind of haircut looking thing. Hendrickson looks okay. The designs are fine. They go down this hole and they kind of talk about their own ambitions, their own dreams and stuff, and how Hendrickson was actually part of the Druid clan, along with Zarathustra, Dreyfus' brother. They were both raised there, hence the silver hair sort of thing. But it's revealed that his magical ability form of acid, because he was cursed, like they thought he was cursed, and he just really hated being on burial watch. He really hated being a part of this sort of clan and all the responsibilities it took, and his magical ability acid manifested itself as a result. Not really clear as to why acid manifested, especially since he's already got the abilities, but the druid spells are actually not necessarily specific. Like, as we've seen, Hendrickson learn the spells of the Druid clan, which are, of course, from the Goddess clan. They're taught magical abilities, while his actual magical power is the form of acid. So that begs the question too: does Zaratros have that type of ability as well? We don't really know yet. That would be cool to find that information out. But they go through this. They talk about their ambitions. They're going through the holes, and they're just talking. They're reminiscing all about different things. And that's when they come across Fraudrin. And as I said, this scene is done very well. This is all very key information, and it's very cool to figure out how they were both involved. Because what happened was, of course, Dreyfus' power is, of course, the power of his will. His willpower and his knightly honor is what is basically the formation of his magical power. So Fraudrin cannot take over Dreyfus's body. He attempts to, but Dreyfus kind of goes, no, I shrugged you off, try to take me over. My will is as strong as the steel of my sword, sort of thing. Very, very badass, very great moment for Dreyfus. Always liked Dreyfus as a character. That's when he decides to take over Hendrickson, whose willpower, of course, he's more cowardly. He's not a coward, but he's more meek. He's more timid. He's kind of like that. And that's when the mind manipulation spell does a work on Hendrickson, and he takes him over. And well, it kind of goes from there. It's not a very good situation, of course, because he finds out all the information. Clearly, he can read the mind and get through all the memories very quickly because he knows Dreyfus, Zaratros, Griever, all this stuff. And that's when Dreyfus is like, okay, well, here's the deal then. Fine, I throw down my sword. You can take over my body. You leave Hendrickson alone. And that's Fraudrin basically makes that deal that he'll make sure that no harm comes to his friend Hendrickson. What a beautiful friendship sort of thing. And he gets Dreyfus's body, which is the one he wants. Now, I'm assuming here, this was not a bad deal. People sort of complained about this, but I think it makes more sense. Hendrickson was so easily taken over, there's nothing stopping in the way of Fraudrin at this point. Dreyfus still has his willpower. Even if he allows his body to be taken over, there's still a small level of, Dreyfus has a better shot of maintaining some level of control. For those of you who have played Star Wars The Old Republic or follow that sort of line, Revan with the Sith Emperor sort of thing, slowly, he's still got his body taken over and he's still under the thumb, but he's got some level of sway. He's holding back a little bit. He's fighting those chains slightly. He's a better container for all this evil than Hendrickson would be. And of course, it's revealed that Hendrickson knew about it, knew what happened, but they were both under the gun, and then they conspired to kill Zaratros. Now, this is all revealed to Gil Thunderhauser and Griever. Griever has a very emotional scene where he starts realizing what a honorable man his father was. Highest ability of the highest honor of, valuing friendship and kingdom and trying to do his best, sacrificing himself and his own wants and desires just to protect the kingdom and protect his friend and protect, so that's what I believe this scene is depicting here, is that Griever is realizing that his father was no traitor. He tried his best to protect everybody. So that's really good. It was a very good scene. It's revealed, of course, that this is all down to the fact that Fraudrin wanted revenge on Meliodas, and that the fight between them was what caused Danafor to completely, disintegrate overnight. And it's because Fraudrin did kill Liz being Meliodas' one true love. Now, after this, we kind of cut over to Meliodas and everyone else waking up. Now, there's a lot more added. What are we going to call this? Perversion from Meliodas here, because the scenes in the manga do not depict this, but Meliodas throughout this whole scene is consistently playing with Elizabeth's tits. He's constantly grabbing them, playing with them, kneading them, whatever you want to call it. He's clearly more of a boob guy. I'm noticing that, but there's a lot more of that added stuff. But the scenes basically go as per they were. Slater's getting healed. Everyone's getting healed. Elizabeth and Meliodas show up. Arthur's crying over Merlin and stone statue body. And everyone's like, okay, wait a minute. What kind of happened here? Really? And that's when Gother, of course, reveals himself and is like, I altered his memories, Captain. And it goes on a little bit to say that that's what Gother kind of altered the memories to make Galen think that he had stomped on Merlin's statued head, stabbed Meliodas in the face, slashed Deanne all the bits, and that everyone was destroyed. That's when it's revealed, of course, that Merlin is actually alive, and of course Meliodas already knows this. She transferred her soul to her sacred treasure, Morning Star. Now this Morning Star, of course, is just a floating orb, but at least Merlin is able to talk and discuss and do things with everybody. And they go through the battle strength of everyone and kind of say, okay, well, Gother's in check right now because I put a control amulet on him before he could take off. And right now it's basically, here's the strength of the 7 deadly sins. And in the manga, it's more adapt. They talk about, using Slater, Gil Thunder, everybody else, and they talk about, the battle strength total. But the numbers pretty much add up to the same. They are far too underleveled to be taking on the 10 Commandments. Meliodas is right chipper and says, we're going to come up with a plan and stuff. And I forgot that this is where this reveal was, but I thought that it was more about Meliodas, something to do with Meliodas, and I won't reveal what that is because it's not revealed yet in the anime. So, but I thought this was going somewhere else, but it actually backtracked to something even better. So that's a cool thing. They discuss all the different battle strength, and Hawk basically says, were people like way stronger back then? Merlin's like, you're absolutely correct, because as Elizabeth pointed out, 3,000 years ago, all the races, humans, fairies, giants, everyone actually took on the Demon Clan. The Demon Clan, actually there was a war. Now, it's not exactly a war if they get slaughtered. That's called a genocide. That's a slaughterhouse. That is not a war. It's not a war if the other side can't fight. So unlike the battle they just had against Galand. So right here, it's stated, well, we're basically weak, and we just need to get stronger. Now, they're all talking about how simple that is and stuff. Merlin brings up the fact that they don't really have a plan to get stronger yet. Merlin just brings up the fact that Arthur and Elizabeth, you two are going to be crucial. You two, of course, Arthur Pendragon, renowned from our viewpoint as viewers, so we know that Arthur's going to have some badass, power at some point. How it's going to be revealed, what's going to happen, who knows. And Elizabeth is ready and chipper and ready to go. Like, I will work hard. I know I'm not strong yet, but I will control this power. I will gain this power, and I will be helpful. Arthur's kind of meek about it, going, oh, I wasn't able to protect my knights, my kingdom, nothing. I'm a nobody. And he's all down in the dumps. And then he sees Elizabeth being, even weaker than he is, and going, you know what? I'll try my best, being so optimistic. And Arthur kind of realizes, yeah. She's way better at this than I am, like way more chipper, way more, not outgoing, but just more optimistic and like, I won't let this get to me. Just because I failed this time doesn't mean I can't just get back up and try again later. I've got the support of Merlin and Meliodas and everybody else to help me get better. And Arthur's just kind of all in depressed mode. It's a good show, though. It shows that Arthur, like a princess to a king, it's showing Arthur that royalty can still, there's still a chance. Like, it's not just the powerful sins that are like, yeah, we got a shot at this. No, the weakest of us are still, have an optimistic view. So that's really good, where he's being far more pessimistic. Now, Merlin doesn't really bring that up, just kind of goes, Arthur, doesn't really give him a pep talk, more like, I wasn't disappointed in you, the fact that you couldn't do anything about Galan. I didn't expect you to, but you're being kind of down in the dumps sort of thing is kind of implied in her voice, at least what I thought. And that's when it's kind of revealed, all right, how are we going to increase our battle strength? Let's go get the last of the sins, one of the greatest of the sins, and that, of course, is the lion sin of pride, Escanor. Escanor, the great, manly man. And his wanted poster looks awesome. Absolutely awesome. I really wish we could see Escanor look like this, because it looks so damn cool like that. The ponytail, the long dreads, the cool, facial hair. It just all looks great. I mean, I love Escanor, guys. I really do. For those of you who read my manga, or watch my manga reviews, about 7 Deadly Sins, you guys know that Escanor is one of, if not my favorite character in this whole series. It's just that this version also looks like a badass. I can't decide which one I would have liked more to see. I hope eventually we do see him in looking like that. That would be really cool, because for the most part, the actual the wanted posters, with the exception of Escanor and Meliodas, Everyone else is pretty much spot on, pretty accurate. I mean, it's drawn in a kind of different style from the art style of the show, but Merlin looks like Merlin, Deanne looks like Deanne, King looks like King, Bond looks like Bond. Once again, like Bond looks way more that Shogo-esque version of himself, but still looks like Bond. The hair and everything is correct. So these are the only two that look different. So I'm really hoping we get to see both of them in their wanted poster looking form. That'd be really cool. But yeah, so that's basically the reveal there. Meliodas and Elizabeth decide to go and inform Deanne about all this information. We're going to go find Escanor and stuff, and we got to increase our strength. We got to, Merlin and I are coming up with a plan to do all this. And that's when King pops out, and Meliodas is like, fling. And he's like, Deanne, and shock. Oh, wait, that was King. And everyone's like, the humor there was kind of funny. I don't know why that's there. It's just kind of funny. Like, just grabs his face, fling. I thought it was kind of funny myself. And then, of course, King rushes over to Deanne, and Deanne wakes up. She's hit her head. Of course, she's hit her head. Of course, she hit her head, and now she doesn't know who King is. That's the end of the episode, guys, but this is where I started to not like Deanne and King so much. This is where. Because for those of you who watch my manga reviews, you know this already. I've explained this in detail. But now that we've caught up to this part in the anime, here's the problem. Their storyline was fine, the way they had it. Now it's all going to come to a good conclusion. Deanne got her memories back. She knows who King is. She's in love with King. That's been established. And King, of course, has loved Deanne the whole damn time. Now, finally, into season 2, we're over 100 chapters in at this point, and we're, into another whole season at this point. The relationship has been established, what it was in the past, and what we have finally reached. So this, to me, I just don't really fully understand as to why they need to drag this out again, and it's not even a new development. So now, we had Deanne not remembering who King was, blah, 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 through the whole beginning of the series, and King, because of what King did. Now we're just going to do it all over again. Okay, now Deanne doesn't know who King is once again. Like, you didn't add a new layer as to why they can't be together. They couldn't. This to me was just bad writing. Like, they're going to repeat the same thing from the first arc. Deanne doesn't know who King is. Does not know who Harlequin is, and doesn't realize that she's in love with him. And we're just repeating the same, love story arc that we just got a conclusion to. And instead of concluding it, or making a different take on what happened, we're going to have the same memory loss bullshit again. Like, I don't know, guys. This is part of the reason I don't like these characters, because their love story bothered me this whole time. After this point, when it was like, okay, we're going to have a conclusion, then we're going to have power-ups and stuff. This right here, from here on, made it very difficult to like these characters, because their arc was over. Their character development with each other was done. Their character development separately was not finished, but they could have figured out a better way to reveal, like, where these trains go. I don't want to, where these threads of fate go. I don't want to reveal too much, as this is only an anime episode review, and there may or may not be people who have only seen the anime, of course, but I just want to say that there was no reason for this. This just was adding unnecessary tension from a plotline we already saw. There was no reason to do this. It was just adding complication for the sake of complication, for the sake of drama. You can add drama, but you need good drama. I'm okay with them not concluding their, being all lovey-dovey and concluding their relationship right here, and then everything's fine for the rest of the series. No, but you could have had a better reason. You could have had something. You could have added some sort of threat, some overbearing, just something new. Why go the same route again? We've already seen that storyline, I mean, even in soap operas, they don't have the evil twin brother for the same character twice. They don't do it one year. Oh, it was real. It was my evil twin all along, and then next year it's the evil twin again. They don't do it twice in a row right after they've concluded the evil twin arc. They don't do the evil twin, it was my evil twin brother again arc right afterwards. You know, they do it with a new character, or they do it, 10 years down the road that, oh, my evil twin brother was not dead and he's come back to town. That's a later on thing that does not happen. So this to me was just bad writing. It was too soon. It was a bad writing arc, and so that's the end of that. That's the end of the anime episode and the review, guys. What did you all think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Please like, subscribe, comment as usual. Always appreciate it. This has been Griever with your 7 Deadly Sins anime episode review for episode 6, and we'll see you back here for episode 7 as soon as I'm able to do it. So thanks guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace out.